This is the Dark Entertainment Network. I am Rose Noir, your underground icon. The stories you are about to hear aren't fiction. They're buried truths, redacted histories, and the kind of silence that screams. This channel was demonetized for telling them. No ads, no sponsors, just the archives and us. Welcome, dear fiends, to the den. Hello, dear fiends of the den. I am back after a brief break just from dealing with the emotional everything from 9/11. If you didn't see my shorts, go check those out. Someone actually found a picture of my husband on the pile at Ground Zero in September of 2001. So, yesterday was a day where I did a little redecor. Then and today, if you look behind me, I have a bit of a set now. And almost everything was either here already or came from the Dollar Tree. But let's talk about the awful tragedies that have taken place just this week. It's exhausting. Whether you're on the left or the right, absolutely everyone should be horrified by the assassination of Charlie Kirk. I mean, the point of the First Amendment, free speech in particular, right, is the fact that you should be able to say exactly what you want without fear of government retaliation, law enforcement retaliation, or getting shot in the neck. Now, I deeply disagreed with 99.9% of what Charlie Kirk said, but I would rather have had a chance to debate him. That's what we're missing now, is we're missing the art of debate where people who disagree now go after each other's lives rather than trying to understand each other and possibly come to some sort of terms where, maybe we're less radical on the right and on the left, because that is the main issue that's happening here. No gun control, too many mental health problems, too easy to get a gun. And while at Utah Valley University, right after throwing t shirts to the crowd, Charlie Kirk was shot in the neck from a rooftop. The suspect, already in custody, good job, FBI, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, was identified after his father recognized him in surveillance footage and persuaded him to surrender. Now, it's being reported that bullet casings were inscribed with phrases like, "Hey, fascist, catch," and "Bella Ciao." Ooh. So Robinson reportedly told his father he'd rather die than be arrested, but he is now in FBI custody. And I have to say to that father, that must have been a very, very difficult decision, but you absolutely did the right thing, because it's murder, it's assassination. And if you're against gun violence, you need to be against it no matter who the victim is. Because it doesn't know any party. It didn't know any party in the Colorado school shooting at Evergreen High, which happened on the same day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And this was 16-year-old Desmond Holly. He shot two classmates before dying of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And one victim remains in critical condition. Holly reportedly brought a revolver and quite a bit of ammunition to school via the bus. So, are they supposed to now put metal detectors on the buses, which would probably be a good thing? Because I remember teaching students about 5, 6 years ago, and one of their classmates brought a knife on the bus and scared the crap out of everyone. Now, Authorities are saying that Desmond Holly was radicalized by, quote, some extremist network, though the exact motive is still under investigation. Now, here in New York, yesterday was the 24th anniversary of 9/11, and ceremonies were held nationwide. So, as you saw, Trump looking not well, sitting next to Melania in DC, was there for that memorial. And JD Vance went to ground zero. Well, all right. I appreciate the effort, JD Vance. And of course, the tribute in light illuminated the sky once again, and that just symbolizes the resiliency of New York City and that we remember this. And I remember flying into New York City a few times, seeing the towers of light. And of course, this is just like the worst week ever, the Queen's couple murder. So, Frank and Maureen Olton, aged 76 and 77, were tortured and killed in their Belarus home before it was set on fire. The suspect, Jamel McGriff, interesting, a career criminal and level 3 sex offender, was arrested in Times Square after a multi-day manhunt. Good job, NYPD. And surveillance shows McGrath conning his way into the home under the guise of needing to charge his phone. So he confessed to the killing. So he knocked on this couple's door and pretended he needed help, and then tortured and killed and set them on fire. And he's a level 3 sex offender. See, this is the thing. If you're a career criminal and a level 3 sex offender, why are you walking the streets? That's who jail is for. Because these people obviously don't care. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters to them. Life is not precious to them. And then, of course, this horrific subway murder in Charlotte, North Carolina. So, this beautiful Ukrainian refugee, Irina Zarakutsa. So, she was 23 years old. And she was fatally stabbed on a light rail train by DeCarlos Brown Jr., another man with over a dozen prior convictions. Why, after a dozen, are they out? The attack was completely unprovoked. If you saw any of the footage, the look on her poor face. And of course, Brown was seen calmly walking through the train afterwards, dripping in her blood. Now he's been charged with first-degree murder, and his family says he has untreated schizophrenia. Yet again, another reason why the entire system just fails everyone. Everyone. Because gun violence, any kind of violence, it doesn't know age. It doesn't know party. It's not red or blue. This is insane. You can't be an elderly couple in your home. You can't be a refugee on public transit. You can't be a child in school. And you can't be a public figure speaking. It doesn't matter what you are saying. In Charlie Kirk's case, he said so many things that not only I disagree with, so many other people. Truly, though, choosing to play God and take someone's life is just beyond the pale. I don't understand the urge when there are other choices to make. But like I said, this is where we lost the art of debate. We don't talk to each other anymore. We choose a side, double down, stick to it, and there's not a lot of humanity left. We need to find that humanity again. That is all I have to say on this episode. I'm going to get into lot more conspiracy theories and some serious stories where I think a lot of things started to go wrong spiritually that have now manifested physically on Earth. So if you like this type of content, of course, as always, like, subscribe, hit that bell, and leave me a comment. I love comments and I love to create episodes out of your comments. So thank you so much, dear fiends, for joining me in the den. Don't forget, because I bring you the truth, the den has been demonetized, and it's a signal from the shadows. So if you'd like to support the dark entertainment and Rose Noir's investigations, you can do so by tipping the detective. The paypal.me link is in the bio. Again, thank you so much for joining me in the den. If you've got something to say, send me an email at welcometothedenpodcast@gmail.com.